Medieval or Indo-Islamic architecture. Indo-Islamic architecture is a fusion of Indian architecture and Islamic architecture. We are going to see the difference between the ancient Indian architecture and the medieval Islamic architecture. All those structures which comes under the ancient Indian, they are called trebuchet, and which comes under the medieval, they are called arcuate. So let's see the difference. First difference is the entrance and the roof. So the entrance and the roof of ancient Indian architecture, they are flat, which we call lintel, and the medieval one, the entrance is of arc shape. You can see in the diagram. Second difference is the topmost structure on the buildings in ancient Indian, they are the vimanas or shikhar, and in medieval, domes. We can see domes on the top of the buildings. Third difference is the presence of additional narrow towers, which we call minars. So they are absent in the ancient Indian architecture, but they are present in the medieval one. So minar or minarets, they are built for the purpose of the announcement of morning prayers. Next difference is the material. So the dominant material in ancient Indian architecture are stone and bricks. So stone and bricks, they were used more. And in medieval one, bricks were used, limestones and mortar. Mortar is nothing but the cementing agent. So this was the difference between the ancient Indian architecture and the medieval Islamic architecture. Next, we will talk about the features of Indo-Islamic architecture. So first feature is the arc and dome method of construction. So arc and domes were constructed in the buildings. Red sandstone, grey sandstone and white marbles were used for the purpose of construction. They avoided human representation. Human representation or idols were not worshipped or used. Instead, geometrical designs were used. Next, in the beginning, Hindu and Jain religious buildings were converted into Islamic premises. So Hindu and Jain buildings, they were created into Islamic premises. Okay, so this was the feature of Indo-Islamic architecture. Next, we are going to talk about the arabesque method of decoration. So let's see what is arabesque method of decoration. In this vegetal pattern, now you can see here vegetal pattern is used. What is vegetal pattern? Here you can see the structure, a stem like structure is there, and on both the sides identical leaves are made. So similar type of designs were used. This is what is vegetal pattern. Second point is the Quranic verses were written on the buildings using calligraphy. Calligraphy is the different styles of writing. So Quranic verses, they were written in different beautiful styles on the walls of the buildings. Next, Persian script was angularized, means angularized font was used for Persian writing, and this new font of Persian came to be known as Kufi. Okay. Next, we'll talk about the Pitra Dura method of decoration. In this, the designs were made on the wall and later they were decorated with precious, semi-precious stone and also colored marbles. So these precious stones, they were pasted on the walls. Intricate reticular panels, which we call jali works on buildings, on especially on the or the entrance, on the gate or on the windows, we can see the jali work. So water fountains, small pools and water drains were created to increase the aesthetic beauty of the buildings. For example, if you have been to Taj Mahal, so you would have seen there the water fountains. Okay. Next, they also started the tradition of planting gardens around the building. So from that time, the tradition of planting gardens was started. Next, we are going to talk about the Delhi Sultanate, in which we will talk imperial architecture and about provincial architecture. Imperial architecture we will talk about the slave period, Khilji period, Tughlaq period, Lodi and Sayyid period. And in provincial architecture we will talk about Bengal, Jaunpur, Malwa and Bijapur architecture. So this are what we are going to study. So first we will talk about the slave period or slave dynasty. So its rulers started converting existing Hindu and Jain buildings into Islamic structure. So the slaves were the one who started converting the Hindu and Jain temples into Islamic structure. For example, Kuwait ul Islam Mosque in Delhi Initially it was a Hindu temple. Arhai Din Ka Jhopda, Ajmer, initially it was a Jain temple. Qutub Minar, which was created in the memory of Sufi saint Kutubuddin Bakhtiar Kaki. So it was initiated by Akbar, proceeded by Iltutmish, and finally it was completed by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. It's introduction of minar and minarets. So we can see the minars and minarets were introduced during this time. Khilji period. So during Khilji period, beginning of true arc and dome method of construction. So during this period, the true arc and dome method of construction was made. Red sandstone was used for the construction purpose. For example of this period is Alai Darwaza, Delhi. Alauddin Khilji also created Shiri Fort. Shiri Fort is considered as one of the precursor city of Delhi and it was constructed in 1304. Next we'll talk about Tughlaq period. So this period was considered as the crisis period of the architecture because they did not focus much on the beauty. They focused on creating strong and resilient buildings. Resilient matlab the buildings which can resist the natural calamities and all. So grey sandstone was used instead of red one because it was easily available, cheaper and strong. Barter method of construction was used. So in barter method, the walls of the buildings were little bit slanted from all the sides. Like you can see here in the diagram, the walls are slightly slanted from all the sides. An example is the Tughlaqabad fort. So the rulers of this period, they created three precursor cities of Delhi. One is the Tughlaqabad, which was created by Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. Second is the Jahanpana by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and Firoz Shah Kotla by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So this was all about the Tughlaq period. Next we'll talk about the Sayyid period. So in this, octagonal chambers were created. Okay, octagonal chambers were created adorned with dome. So 8 chambers were created along with the dome on the top. Guldasta method of decoration was introduced. Introduction of blue enamel tiles in India. So for the very first time, blue enamel tiles was introduced in India. Example is Mubarak Shah Sayyid Tomb in Delhi. There you can see these materials which were used. Next is the Lodhi period. So they incorporated the Indian concept of veranda inside the buildings. With veranda word we are very much familiar of. Next, double dome structures were used, like you can see here in the diagram. This is the first dome and above it the second dome was created. First, they were the first rulers to introduce concept of gardens around the buildings. Example, Lodhi Garden and Lodhi Tomb. Next, we'll talk about the provincial architecture. In this, we will talk about Bengal architecture. So, in Bengal architecture, huge buildings were created, and it was said that during that time, it seems that there was wastage of land. Next, black marbles and bricks were used for the purpose of construction. One of the special feature of this Bengal architecture was the sloping bungalow roof. Now, like you can see here, the building sloping roofs are there. With this structure also we are very much familiar because today also in our houses we can see such structures. Example is Kadam Rasool Mosque, Gaur, Adhina Masjid, Pandua, West Bengal. So this was all about Bengal architecture. Next we'll talk about Jaunpur architecture. So it was initiated by Sharki dynasty of Jaunpur, also known as Sharki style of architecture. So in this period in this architecture no minarets were made in the mosque. An introduction of propylon gateways. What are propylon gateways? You can see here one big gateway is there and on both of its sides small gateways are there, slightly slanted from all the sides. So this is what is propylon gateway. Example is the Atala Mosque of Jaunpur. Next is the Malwa architecture. So Malwa is a place which is at the tri-junction of Gujarat, Rajasthan and MP. This Malwa architecture also known as Pathan architecture. Here also minarets are absent. Wide variety of stones were used like grey, red, green sandstones and white marbles for the purpose of construction. High-rise pavilion were created in Malwa style. Pavilion is the mandap. They also created proportionate staircases were made. For cross ventilation, large windows were created. Wall mats were used for decoration of walls, to decorate the walls. Example, Mandu Fort, Jahaj Mahal, Ashrafi Mahal, Rani Roopmati Pavilion. All places are in Mandu area, which is in MP, Madhya Pradesh. Next is the Bijapur architecture. So it was developed by Adil Shah of Bijapur. Almost spherical domes. The domes which were made, they were almost spherical. Use of cornices in the buildings. Cornices is nothing but the chhajja, what we call in Hindi. They introduced three facet arc. You can see in the diagram, three facet arcs are made. So this was the structure which was made during that time. Example is the Gol Gumbaj of Bijapur and Adil Shah Mausoleum, which is in Bijapur. So this was all about Bijapur architecture. Next we'll talk about the Mughal architecture. So during Mughal period, Babur and Humayun, they did not get enough time to create any structure or monument, but Babur created two mosques, one at Panipat, Haryana, and second at Sambal, UP. So after Humayun's death, his two wives, Hamida Begum and Bega Begum, they constructed first landmark building of the Mughals, that is the Humayun's tomb. This building is beautifully fusion of arc and dome method of construction, and also use of red sandstone and white marble. This building also has Chahar Bagh, means four similar identical gardens. Akbar, during the reign of Akbar. So initially Akbar started the construction of Red Fort, Agra, but he did not completed it. Okay. Instead, he decided to create a separate capital complex at Fatehpur Sikri. So at Fatehpur Sikri, many buildings were created inside the Sikri complex. One is the Buland Darwaza, another is the Panch Mahal. So in this building, Panch Mahal, Rajput method of construction was used, and it was reflected from receding flat roofs. Flat roofs were there and presence of hanging wall. So with these two features, it was similar with the Rajput method of construction. So Rajput style was also seen in this building. Next we'll talk about the Tudor arc. So what is the Tudor arc? You can see in the diagram, this is what is the Tudor arc. So in Buland Darwaza, Akbar introduced Tudor arc, which was later replicated by his successor. So we will see some of the structures which were made during his reign. So one is the Salim Chishti's tomb. It is one of the finest example of Jalida work. Second is the Jahangir Mahal, which was created in Islamic style. Next is Jodhabai Palace, Panch Mahal, Birwar Palace, all these. Ibadat Khana, it was a hall which was dedicated for religious discussion and deliberation with the representative of all the religions. Discussion करने के लिए and for the purpose of religious discussions, it was used. Diwan-e-Aam was the meeting place with the common public, and Diwan-e-Khas, it was a meeting place with the special people. So also Akbar has funded the construction of Govind Dev temple, which is in Mathura, Vrindavan. Next we'll talk about Jahangir period. So usually Jahangir, he favored painting, he loved paintings, but he also constructed some important Mughal buildings like Akbar's tomb at Sikandara, Moti Masjid, Lahore, and major architectural initiatives. So most of the initiative of this period was taken by his wife Noor Jahan. She constructed her father's tomb known as Itmat-ud-Daula's tomb in Agra. So this was the first Mughal building where pure white marble was used, completely pure, and it is noted for wide usage of Pitra Dura method of construction. She was also instrumental in planting, and the examples we can see the Nishad Bagh and Shalimar Bagh in Srinagar. Next is the Shah Jahan. So The climax of Mughal architecture and Indo-Islamic architecture was considered to be this period. Okay, and features of Indo-Islamic architecture were present and were at the apex, at its peak. Arabesque was one of the finest method of decoration which was done during that time. There was extensive use of marble, pitra dura and jali work. Force heightening effect was also introduced at this time, and particularly Taj Mahal. So in Taj Mahal you can find the force heightening effect. Example of this period is Taj Mahal Agra, Moti Masjid Agra, Jama Masjid Delhi, Red Fort Delhi, Red Fort Agra, Badshahi Mosque Lahore, City of Shah Jahanabad, Old Delhi. So this was all about Shah Jahan's period. Next, we are going to talk about Aurangzeb's period. Okay, so during this period, patronage, or we can say funding to art and architecture, came to an end. He created few structures like Moti Masjid inside Red Fort, Delhi, Bibi Ka Maqbara in Aurangabad. So he commissioned the construction of this building, and this building was earlier known as Rabia Ud-Durrani's Maqbara, and it was completed by Bahadur Shah first. Next, we are going to talk about the provincial architecture during Mughal period. So in this, first we'll talk about the Sikh architecture. Hope all of you have seen Gurdwaras. So in Gurdwaras, we can see the Mughal influence. For example, if you have noticed the domes which are made above the building, so it was taken from the Mughals style of structure. They modified the domes to give them fluted shape. Like here you can see these are known as the fluted shapes. The domes are made. Multiplicity of chhatris in Gurdwaras. So these are the chhatris which are made above the Gurdwaras. Many example you can see. One of the example is the Golden Temple. Next, we'll talk about the Rajput architecture. So Rajputs were one of the finest fort makers of that time. One of the finest. Buff color stone was the major construction material which was used. Flooring of the buildings were generally done with mosaic pattern and marbles. Flooring was done. Beautiful hanging balconies of all shapes and size. It was basically multi-utility area in the building, so it was used for many purposes. So Rajput style of architecture. Also created half bow shaped carved cornices. Half bow shaped cornices were made. They also created buildings with you can see here the carved cornices like this. They also created buildings with labyrinth is the Bhul Bhulaiya. Rajput ruler Jai Singh also created many astronomical observatory known as Jantar Mantar at Delhi, Jaipur, Mathura, Ujjain and Varanasi. So some of the example you can see here: Amer Fort, Jaisalmer Fort, Ranthambore Fort, Gwalior Fort, Kumbhalgarh Fort, Bikaner Fort, Mehrangarh Fort, Uday Vilas Palace, Umaid Bhawan Jaipur, Chittorgarh Palace, City Palace in Jaipur, Victory Tower, Chittorgarh, Hawa Mahal, Jaipur. So this was all about the Rajput architecture. Next, we are going to talk about the modern architecture. In this, we'll talk about the British architecture, Indo-Gothic and Neo-Roman. Okay, so Indo-Gothic type of architecture we can see in Calcutta and Mumbai, and Neo-Roman in Delhi. So let's start. So for the very first time, advanced engineering techniques was used in India. It was brought by the Britishers. They incorporated use of iron in buildings, and the buildings they were very strong. The pillars of the buildings they were considered to be strong. Moreover, steel was also introduced. The first and foremost example of Indo-Gothic architecture is St. Fort George in Madras and St. Fort William in Kolkata. So after 1715, Britishers started replicating Gothic structures in the cities of Kolkata and Mumbai. Some of the features are the thinner walls were created. The walls were thinner but they were strong because iron was used. Pointed arc, here you can see pointed arc structure was made. Concept of double dome we have seen earlier, and crucified ground plan in the buildings. Large windows and cross ventilation became a norm after the introduction of Gothic style. So in Mumbai, you can see such structures: Victoria Terminus, now known as CST, Church Gate, Fort Mumbai, Gateway of India. Also, there are many more places like, okay, now Victorian deco art, which is a type of art, was used for increasing the aesthetic appeals of building. Then at Calcutta, we can see such structures: St. Paul Cathedral, Victoria Memorial, and Reuters Building. Next, we are going to talk about the Neo-Roman architecture. So, the beginning of Neo-Roman architecture happened in 1911, okay, when capital of British India was shifted from Calcutta to New Delhi. So, two British architects, Edwin Lutyens and Herbert Baker, they were interested with creating new architecture. So, okay, so they were making the architectures, but later Edwin Lutyens single-handedly created all the structures in India, and Herbert Baker, he was shifted to some other British colony. Neo-Roman structure in Delhi, they were grand structures, and due to the fusion of many styles, anonymous structures were created. These buildings were compromised on utility and convenience. They were not very strong. The planning of most of the buildings was circular. Now, they also made many parks and gardens in New Delhi area. Moreover, the roads from both the sides were lined with green corridors. Now, you would have seen people who belong to Delhi or who have been to Delhi. Examples are Rashtrapati Bhavan, Parliament, North Block, South Block, Old Supreme Court, Secretariat Building. All these buildings, you can see the Neo-Roman style of architecture. Last, we'll talk about the Awadh architecture. So they created floral arch gateways. Now the rulers, they created during that time created floral arch gateways. You can see here example of Rumi Darwaza in Lucknow. They created the finest kind of labyrinth or maze called the Bhul Bhulaiya. The example is the Bhul Bhulaiya of Bada Imambara. No use of iron and marbles in the buildings, only bricks were used for the purpose of construction. Umbrella shaped domes were created in some of the buildings, for example, Chhatar Manzil. So this was all about the architecture of ancient and medieval. So thank you so much.